this video is a little bit different than I had imagined it to be. The reason for that is that my doctor put me on sick leave. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know that I've been having some trouble with my wrist for some time. And now my doctor has put me on a strict break with a new treatment that will hopefully work. Previous treatments I've had didn't really do anything for me, so I hope that this one will be different. Basically, I have an infection in my wrist, or at least that's what my doctor thinks. And so it hurts a lot after drawing and writing and stuff, doing things with my hands basically for a long time, and that's pretty much all the time. So yeah. Luckily, I have a few videos that I've partly filmed already, so I should be able to stick to my uploading schedule even though I'll be on a sick leave. I'm going to try to still edit. Since I'm not using a trackpad anymore, that's helped a lot for my wrist already, so I just can't film any more videos while I'm on sick leave. As you can imagine, it's not really a fun time for me because all I do is draw and like make art and create and stuff, so I'm kind of having a little identity crisis while I figure out what to do when I can't do those things. So in my journal I had planned for July to have 5 weeklies, and because my wrist has been hurting, to make it a little bit easier on myself, I was going to film like the first 2 one day and then the other 2. But then I had a new doctor's appointment, I was put on sick leave, so I only managed to film the first 2 weekly spreads before I was put on sick leave. So the other 3 will have to wait until I'm hopefully better. So please come along with me while I set up the first 2 weekly spreads of July. But if you haven't watched my monthly setup for July yet, be sure to watch that first. I have a big giveaway happening in that video. You can win a $50 gift card to Macy Lane Co., which is the journal that I'm using. It's open until July 4th, so you still have time to enter. And besides that, all I ask is that you maybe share my YouTube videos, check out my Instagram, check out my online shop and my Patreon so that we can make it through the sick leave together. Your support means a lot, and especially during the more difficult times, so thank you so much for that. And now let's make some weekly spreads. For these weekly spreads, I'm using a combination of my own drawings and doodles and my journaling kit that I made for my patrons over on Patreon. I make these every month, so please check that out if you're interested. There's a link in the description box. I also use some washi tape and some craft paper. If you watched my monthly setup video from last week, you'll know that this craft paper was wrapped around some dried lavender that I got a couple of months ago, and I just thought it fit perfectly here. I saved it for the purpose of using it in my journal, so yeah. I put it in 2 corners to kind of frame the spread, and I think it looks quite nice. I don't usually do this goodbye, previous month, hello, new month thing, but I thought it could be a little bit fun this time, since in June I used my dinosaurs as kind of mascots for each week, and then for July I'm drawing the Shiba Inu. So I thought it would be kind of fun to have the dinosaurs say goodbye and the dogs say hello. That's the idea anyway. I'm going quite far out of my comfort zone editing this video because I normally write down at least some keywords or key ideas that I want to convey in my voiceovers, but because of my wrist, I'm trying to basically use my computer and my hands as little as possible. So I didn't write anything down, and I'm just kind of improvising as I go, and it's really hard. But I know that it is really good practice because I often feel like I have to write things down and like think them over for a long time before it's acceptable to put online. And doing live streams on YouTube and Instagram has helped me a little bit with that, making me a little bit more comfortable to just speak freely. I mean, English is my second language, so I sometimes forget words or just don't know exactly how to phrase things correctly. And it's still like this after all these years. Like, I've lived in the US, my partner is American, I speak English every day, but I still feel like I can't speak properly at times. Anyway, challenges are good. They make us better in one way or another, so I'm embracing that part. I'm also editing this video using my left hand, so that's interesting. My idea for the spread was to make it fit my July theme as much as possible, so using the same kind of doodles and the same colors and the same components as my monthly spreads, and then give each day the same amount of space to write. I didn't include a section for tasks or focus or anything like that, which I have been doing a lot recently. Just thought I'd try something different, but looking at it now, I'm kind of missing it. But at the same time, probably won't be writing very much in here since I'm kind of forced to take a break. But yeah, I added this little calendar. Couldn't decide on which color, but we ended up with orange. And I used basically all the colors in the spread. I often tend to go for more monochromatic color schemes, but this month I just went with all the colors, as you can see. I think they look quite nice together, so I don't really mind. Now the font I'm using, I'm not that happy with. It's more of a boxy font than June had. So in June I used this bubble letter, which has very soft edges, but for July I went for a more sharp-edged bubble letter. I don't really know how to explain it even, but I mean, you can clearly see. I wrote Goodbye June with the bubble letter font from June, and then I wrote July differently to kind of distinguish them. I'm using the Zebra mild liners, by the way. These are the highlighter types. They also come in brush pen versions. I used to have both, but I sold the brush pens because I didn't really use them that much. They would have been nice to have for this setup, but I don't use highlighters that often, so no need to keep stationery that I don't use. That's my opinion, at least. I'd rather have as little as possible. I think it actually makes you more creative when you have less to work with. It's easy to get very overwhelmed if you have lots of different stationaries. Obviously, I still have a lot. So this next spread has a layout that I come back to quite often in one way or another. I put some craft paper on the edges of each page, and then the inner part will have room for the days. So I basically just ripped some paper and then I glue taped it onto the page, and then I just cut out the excess afterwards. I felt like this was way faster and easier than trying to cut it into the correct shape before gluing it down. So that's what I did. And then I used my Archer & Olive acrylograph pen in black. This is the 0.7 millimeter size, and it showed up really well on the craft paper. I think it showed up better than a fine liner would since it's a paint pen, so that you can clearly see the J even though it's like partly on top of one of the flowers on the craft paper. And then I used a little calendar on the side as well. I was kind of debating whether or not I should put more stuff on the sides, but I ended up not doing that, so it's kind of self-contained. Well, except for the dog. I had to have a dog. But I didn't put anything on the right-hand page. I used some of the date stickers from my journaling kit to put the numbers down for each day, and then I wrote with my Tombow Futonosuke each day of the week. I used a more calligraphy type font for the spread, so the first and the second weekly spread of July looks very different in style, but I think this is part of the fun. Depending on how and if my wrist heals during my little break from work, I might have to just use a bunch of stickers for the next weekly spreads, and I guess this is a good time to plug my own sticker shop because I'm having a shop update on July 1st. I'll have a few more sticker sheets, but yeah, I've been making some new freebie sticker sheets that I'll also put in with each order, and I'm quite excited about that. That's something that I haven't really done before. I've had a vinyl sticker come for free with every order, as well as a classic-y label. It's like a cardstock label. It's very nice. I really like them, and they're quite expensive. But now I'm making these freebie sticker sheets, and I've made one specifically for summer, so I hope I can get rid of all of them. So if you go to ikigaipapir.com, that's where you'll find my shop. And that's pretty much it for these 2 weekly spreads. It didn't go according to plan. I only made 2 out of 5, but that's okay. Things happen. I am focusing on healing my wrist right now so that I can come back stronger and healthier than ever and make lots of fun stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for my shop update on July 1st, and in the meantime, please check out my Instagram. My username is mochibujo everywhere: Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, even TikTok. I don't really post very much there, but I do have an account. And yeah, hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!